A shout out to our podcast sponsor, sportsponsorship.co.uk. If you or your business are interested in making a real difference to the Scottish game, supporting hundreds of kids into regular football, get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk and they'll find the right fit for your brand. Hello everybody, welcome to Tinpot, a Scottish football podcast. My name is Tom Leask, your host, and joined by my two esteemed colleagues and Tinpot legends, Matthew Strugnall.
Hello.
And Andrew Guild.
Hello.
Back with episode 35 of Tinpot. And our fans among us will know, our listeners will know that we sadly weren't with you on Friday, so we'll just sort of get to the elephant in the room, if you will, and mention that we're cutting back. We're going to one episode a week, but hopefully better quality, maybe slightly, one big long episode instead of trying to, there's too much out there, isn't there? There's too much in the world. If they less Tinpot, more quality. Is that right, lads? Is that the approach we're going for?
Yeah, that's right. A bumper,
Kind of,
one
maybe.
bumper episode a week. Cut it if you want. You can listen to half of it on Monday, Tuesday, and then you can just pause it. Come back on the Friday if you're that much inclined, or you can just listen to all in one go. It's up to you. But yeah,
Economical.
that's right.
Economical, indeed.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why we didn't release one on Friday 23rd. We're back for Tuesday the 27th though, and you'll get our Tuesday episodes every week without fail for as long as we can be bothered doing this show. But no, it will be on for a long time.
At least
we should
till
get a
the
tarot
season's
reader on
finished.
to tell us how it's going to go. What's that?
At least till the season's finished, you'll get that guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so that you can gloat about your pre-season predictions being the best.
And we might do a Tinpot on tour actually when one of us is in a foreign country during the summer.
Maybe.
I said World Cup, if it's still on in America.
Yeah. One getting arrested by ICE, probably. Yeah.
Topical. Well done, sir. Topical. So speaking of, we've mentioned Scotland kind of there just by saying the World Cup. I'm off down to the Hill Dickinson, lads. You're both welcome to join,
lovely.
of course, for the friendly against Côte d'Ivoire, a 52,000-seater stadium for two away teams to travel to for a friendly. I'm not sure how many we're gonna sell, but ticket prices range from £27 to £67 for the friendly.
Jesus Christ. Why is it there, by
yeah.
the way?
Yeah, what is a
pass.
Hill Dickinson? What is it like? Some
It's a
guy?
good question.
Have you
Man,
never heard
I
of Hill
think.
Dickinson?
No.
Fucking hell, mate. That's so embarrassing.
Sorry, I'm not into my Hills or my Dickinsons.
Nah, seriously, I have no idea who the fuck that is. But, I mean, it looks a cool stadium. I was watching a wee bit of the Everton Leeds games on tonight, but and my mate's there actually tonight. But, yeah, it looks a really cool stadium for a new stadium. But, I mean, why
Yeah,
is it
apparently
there?
the noise is pretty impressive there as well. But strange location. Good opposition for Scotland, I think, having taken on Morocco in the World Cup, another African nation. But yeah, going down there is a bit strange. There must be a reason behind it. Mr. Clark, if you're listening, come on and let us know. For no other reason. We don't want you on the pod for anything else. Just come on to answer that question. Why are we
Bit of
playing down
bunting,
in
mate.
Liverpool?
Bit of
Why would it-
bunting. Bit paid surely to go there, no? By Hill Dickinson.
We'll get paid by the Hill Dickinson to play there.
Yeah, the Hill
I don't think
Dickinson clan will pay us money to come there.
Hill Dickinson just opens up his chest
Yeah.
and gets some gold coins out, and it's like, come on down.
You
Yeah,
do
let us
call
know
him a
right in
pirate.
if you know Hill or Dickinson. If it's one man or two people,
Yeah.
two women, I don't know.
Dickinson.
You've had Dickens' sons before, Matthew.
Whoa,
Hey,
that's inappropriate.
easy tiger.
Access to Dixon's. Coming up in this episode, it's a quick review, really, of the title race. That's going to be dominating most of the conversation. There was Hearts Celtic at the weekend, Rangers with a fairly easy victory at home to Dundee. Hibs have slipped up in their race for fourth. There's loads of talking points around all those matches. We're going to have a quiz at the end. We're going to have another excerpt from Pitches and Pies by Bruce Walker. So
Nice.
Stay tuned for that. But before we do that, we've sort of already naturally got into a bit of a chit-chat, a bit of a catch-up. But what's been happening with you, Matthew? What's the latest in Strugnall land?
Just experimenting in new ways of getting the protein in, son. So I'll let you know over the weekend. I ate 10 chicken sausages for my lunch. Decent. And today I mixed cottage cheese with porridge. So it was alright as well. Quite decent.
You did.
Oh,
I did. Mate, don't knock
Why?
me, try it. Why?
really?
But the protein, son, the protein.
Yeah, no, but it's like
What you do
why
is you
ruin
make
the porridge?
porridge. You make porridge, you add in protein powder, alright? And then a bit of cinnamon, a bit of honey. And then once that's cooked, you cool it down a bit and then you mix in cottage cheese. It's very nice.
Oh fuck no!
I
So by
swear.
the time you mix that in and you've already let it cool, it's going to be surely cold.
Yeah, it was cold to lukewarm. It was nice.
Oh no!
Mate, I'm a skeptic.
No.
I'm not a cottage cheese man myself. I'm more of a yogurt guy. But this was nice. It was.
I mean, cottage
so-
cheese in the right environment, but like with honey and like
It works.
lukewarm
Cinnamon.
The salty
cold
sweetness
porridge.
of it worked.
with
honestly.
protein powder in it. Hey, you're gonna fucking OD on protein, mate. Like that's what's gonna happen.
And raisins and
Like-
sultanas as well. And a bit of chia seeds.
Surely easier ways to get your protein in than that. Like cottage cheese can be eaten in nicer ways than whacking it in some
I don't
porridge.
really like cottage cheese, but I heard it's quite good protein to fat intake or ratio.
Fucking hell.
I might just buy a whole chicken tomorrow and eat that off the bone.
Yeah, we've also just skipped
Jesus.
past the 10 chicken sausages. Were they just
Right.
on their own? Were they in a sandwich? Did you have them?
And I dipped them in ketchup though. That was good.
Oh,
Okay.
not good for the protein. That's a lot of sugar. Mate.
I should have done protein powder, cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese
Protein
and
ketchup.
No, next time I'll buy 10 chicken sausages, cottage cheese, a bit of salt and pepper in the cottage cheese, and then just scoop it up like a wee
Dip them in
spoon.
some porridge.
Yeah.
The poor fella that was commenting about your stool softeners a few weeks ago that was broken after 7 minutes. I'm sorry, we're, again, 7 minutes in and repulsed.
Listen. I had the idea in my head about the cottage cheese porridge, so I googled it, and a few recipes came up. So it's a thing that people have thought about and done. So it's not just me; it's a thing. So you guys are the ones that are crazy, not me.
People listened
I mean,
to Coldplay and
we-
voted for the Nazis. It doesn't make it right.
Let's get the comments on the go there. Like,
New
if
protein
anyone's
one.
putting cottage cheese in their porridge, like, tell us because you need help.
And give me some
Oh,
other
yeah.
protein options as well. Just other than meat.
Anything except that. Anything.
I had a tin of cannellini beans the other day as well. That's 20 grams of protein, decent.
Not just on their own. You didn't.
Well, just on
Yeah,
its
just
own.
crack the tin open and got a spoon out.
You're full of
Oh,
shit.
for
Nah,
fuck's
see, I was
sake.
believing you until that.
No,
No way.
I did make some of the cannellini beans, so I did check the protein. So it is about 22 grams per tin, but nah, I did cook them in a stew sort of thing. So with some
Okay.
bacon.
Bloody hell. Jesus
Still,
Right.
Christ.
still no more muscly, so I don't know what's going on, but I'll keep trying.
Mate, you look ripped when you ran past me like a week ago. So
In my pink long sleeve shirt, yeah. In the
Yeah,
freezing
yeah.
cold.
yeah, mate. Like no one could get past you on the pavement. You were so ripped running down the street. So
Is running
Felt
the best way to
shockwaves.
get to get those gains from the protein?
I'm a hybrid athlete, son. I eat the protein
Oh.
and then I run the cardio.
Like a high rocks kind of guy.
Exactly. Eat the protein for the gains and the muscle, and then run it all off. So no calories, just
fucking
protein.
hell.
Follow here for more fitness tips. Matthew's got you covered.
That's madness.
Gildy, what's been happening with you? Any protein chat?
No protein chat. No. I managed to. I found out I'm having twins recently.
Oh.
So
Congratulations.
I had an ultrasound on Saturday, and it looks like I've got two well formed stones in my gallbladder. So
Wait, I
yeah.
had to go in there for a second. I genuinely thought this was some sort of. I thought
big
I
announcement.
genuinely thought it was going to be a joke straight away. Then it's sort of you seem very serious. You played that well.
Oh.
I was like, what?
I've had them since December, so I think I should probably name them. So any name suggestions in the comments for my two gallstones, then
Neil and Stevie.
let me know.
Cameron
They're good.
Crawford.
I like them. I like them.
Frankie and
I like that.
Stevie.
Yeah, like that as well. I like that.
Stevie.
But yeah, apart from that, no, nothing major. I've just not been very well for a while. So good to get to the bottom of it. But I found out there was an 18-month waiting list for the bloody surgery. So I'm gonna have
It's a
to
good job
see
it's
what
not
I can do about that.
Painful, eh? Good job
I
it's not
know.
sore.
Absolutely brutal. So yeah, see the doctor tomorrow and see what I can do because this ain't good. But yeah, anyone got any tips for dealing with gallstones?
Wow.
And just pop it in with your protein comments as well.
So I'm
then
here
that'd be
experimenting
great.
with all this protein fancy meals, and you're can't eat anything. Is that right?
Well, is protein good for gallstones? Maybe I'll Google that. Google
yourself
get
some
some cottage
protein.
cheese porridge.
Probably all it's good for,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Cottage cheese
Oh,
porridge.
Fuck's sake!
I'll be
So,
inviting you
yeah,
around for
apart from
dinner
that,
once to try some of this cuisine.
I will.
Right?
Do you know what? I will try it. I will actually try it because it's probably quite bland, and it's one of those things I could probably manage to eat at the moment. But yeah, my diet's fucking shit just now. No good stuff. Just really plain shitty stuff.
Can you eat bread?
So no bread, pastries, that kind of thing. You're not allowed that. Any rich foods, alcohol. I haven't had a drink since Christmas Day.
Do you like a drink?
I do like a fucking drink, so I do. So yeah, that's been
Can you
pretty
eat
bad.
pasta,
Anything
Andrew?
good.
Pasta.
It doesn't make me feel very good. But
What's
I don't know
your
if
diet
it's on the
consist
list
of
or not.
then at the moment?
Spinach.
Well, pretty bad.
Broccoli.
So I'll have a wee bit of porridge in the morning,
Yes, come
and
on.
I'll put some like what are they called, like chia seeds or whatever. Put them in
Nice,
there.
mate. Decent.
Some banana in there, a wee bit of honey, and then for lunch I don't have anything.
Nice.
And then
Keep the
for
calories low.
tea I'll just have something pretty bland. So I'll have like probably like chicken, rice cakes, and like I
Fish
don't know,
and a
cottage
rice
cheese,
cake.
something like that. Like it's nothing major. And then like today I only had a bowl of cereal and that was that. But
What
yeah,
cereal?
I'm struggling to eat like 1,800 calories a day. Like I'm really struggling. Special K I had today actually. So
Decent.
there you go.
Decent cereal.
It was
Someone's
on a
made of money.
special. So
There we go.
there you go.
Special thing.
So
You'll be
yeah.
you'll be fucking shredded. No time, Andrew, in this golf
I
stone
don't know about
diet.
shredded, but you know, I might be lose a few pounds. I think I've gone from obese to sort of quite fat on the scale at the
Nice.
moment. So
The-
if I
the
can get that to
McDonald's,
just fat, then that would be fine.
The profit at Dulloch McDonald's have taken a severe hit though.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, they are really feeling
The
the
manager's like, what the fuck's going on? Why are
the
we?
crunch right now, aren't they? So
That coupled with the shit menu that they've got on the go is they'd be out of
They had a
business. soon.
record month when that the
Yeah.
Big Tasty was double Big Tasty was it?
yeah,
Like,
big
record
time.
profits.
Yeah, it's like 8.5 sold to this guy, but yeah, no, I missed that. But yeah, this menu that's been on is just not
Yeah,
been
garbage.
very enticing at all. So if they bring like a triple Big Tasty in, I think I might have
A
to
triple.
just sort of
You'll be having
get one and
triplet
check myself
gallstones.
in. Yeah, exactly. I'll be like Martin Goodman when he's has that tin of meat in Friday Night Dinner. I don't know if anyone's seen that, but
I have.
but yeah. Anyway, that's all my
Give
chat.
me my
But, yeah.
mate. Give me my mate.
Andrew, by the end of this, you'll be
you're
like,
better call him this.
you know, you see those bodybuilders that like have their first cheat meal after like a show or something, and you eat like a massive feast. That'll be you.
Yeah.
Paddy Pimblett stuff.
Yeah, just pure like brown as fuck with all your like fake
Oh,
tan
yeah.
on, just like scranning.
As soon as it's allowed, I'll be right back in the game. But I just can't. I've just no appetite at the moment. It's weird. Like I've never felt like this. So yeah, gallstones are like the sort of cheap Ozempic, I guess.
How did you get them out? You have to shit them out or what?
I think it's a surgery.
Someone failed biology.
What's that one when it
but,
comes at your dick? What's that called?
Oh, they're kidney
Kidney
stones.
stones.
Kidney stones.
Yeah,
At least it's
my
not kidney
granddad
stones, mate.
had them, and
Hey,
I had to
gallstones
drive
are
him
no
to
laughing
hospital, I
matter.
remember that. But yeah, well, I mean, I'd rather nothing like that came out of my
Yeah.
well, that's no. Anyway, well, I was trying to think of a good word.
Yeah, I know. I'd just be
There you
like,
go.
cut that out.
There you go.
Right, lads, let's move on. We're 15 minutes in thereabouts, and we've not talked about Scottish
What is this?
football.
What is the real name though? What is
people are
the
here
name
for.
of it?
You're
Urethra,
through a
isn't it?
whole place. I
didn't
do
come
know
up with
someone that listens who's a medical person, or the partner is. Anyway, tell us what it is, or probably we could just Google it because we're just being lazy. Right, we're gonna get into some comments now from you fine people, you listeners. You've been in YouTube spamming us all week, which is great to see. Really do appreciate you getting in touch with your comments, your thoughts, your questions for us. And we're going to call this little segment that hopefully will be a regular feature if you keep commenting, Comment Corner. That really was a full 10 seconds of me thinking earlier on today to come up with a name. Starting off with a comment for you, Struggy, after you gave a fantastic minute of Beautiful Sunday on last week's episode as a forfeit. Outstanding from the Strugman, says at Henry L5725. So well done to you. Your singing voice is being appreciated. At the Stew Rat is back. He's back in the comments.
Yes.
So, or they, I don't know their gender, don't want to assume. Sorry, at the Stew Rat. Seriously, ... What is the point? SFA is more like seriously fuck all. Or sorry, seriously F at ampersand, at sign, sorry, SK. CK.
I like it.
I've butchered.
I like it. Legend. I love you, Stu. There you go.
At the Stew Rat.
Cut of your jib, as Matthew was saying.
Mm-hmm.
On to at David Wardrobe 9214, who I think is taking the piss out of us. Very, very sarcastic comment, I think, but if it's not, then I really appreciate it. Fantastic. You three should write a book. And speaking of books, I just finished reading Our Game, Our Clubs by Paul Goodwin, and it touches on some of the things you mentioned in some ways. I think it's ahead of its time. I think the rest of the comment is legit, and it's a good book recommendation, hopefully, so we can get onto that. But I think the first part might be a bit exaggerated.
But one of my ebook about protein recipes will be coming out soon, mate, so keep an eye out for that. PDF only.
Ebook.
Ebook.
What was the book? Slow. I'm going to look it up.
It's Our Game, Our Clubs by Paul Goodwin. Hopefully no relation of James. Right, so the next comment came in from at Ewan Robertson92, our resident D in the comments. Thoroughly enjoyed the football darts. I played along, went for Jason Cummings, Kevin Nisbet, Kane Hemmings, and Lyle Cameron. So it's a Dundee-themed effort he went for. Came in just shy of Matt at -6, so he's only 4 points away from you, Matt. Good effort from Ewan Robertson.
Yeah, try and think a bit more from other teams, mate. You Dundee.
He did also take a stab at Brian Graham, who is a Dundee United player, and Gary Hooper, his 2 non-Dundee entries, but they were both bust, so it didn't count towards his score.
Well done. You battered me anyway.
And finally,
that's for sure.
2 comments from the same person, 2 separate comments from at Stuart M87. I thought it might be Michael Stewart until I saw the 87, and Michael Stewart's definitely older than that. The Oscar Cortez registration was allowed due to the Argentina season entering their 2026 season. He wasn't able to register in any league that were still in a 2025-26 season. Just lucky on that one. So that came back to you, Andrew, and your Cortez debacle.
Thanks for clearing that up. I did wonder how that happened, but that makes total sense. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for that. That's great.
We could have Googled it, but you've saved us the time, so thank you. And finally, at Stuart M87 again, the alcohol situation in Scottish football is easily solved. Each ticket gets a QR code to redeem 1 alcoholic drink, and as you pay it as an add-on to the ticket. So prepay in advance, I guess, is what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Then in future seasons, allow it to be 2 per ticket. It just needs a staggered approach at first, but can be managed. So pretty reasonable suggestion, I think.
You're buying on, and all the ticketing apps at the moment that clubs have at all levels in Scotland can definitely facilitate that. So, so it causes literally no extra work at all. So you're buying on. That's a really good suggestion, actually. I like that.
I mean, there might be issues around IDing if you go to pick up the beer. That would need sorted out. Logistics are for Stuart M to sort.
Or for the elderly that don't have phones.
What? Or for people who don't have phones.
Football, the old timers that just rock up since 1952 and that don't know how to work a QR code. Or my dad.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I mean, I suppose it would cut down the queues at the very least, but yeah.
I'm sure they have hip flasks under their jackets anyway, so they'll be fine.
Oh, that's verging on a libel accusation there. Right.
Into
old people. Let us get back into the.
You've been very reformed today, Matthew. You're gone full Farage, like.
Yeah, you've gone swell of Braverman
already. Yeah.
Bit of Farage eats cottage cheese with his porridge.
Yeah, I bet he does. Yeah.
Cigar flavoured porridge.
Salt in his though.
Or something.
Yeah, big time salt. Yeah.
kind of foreign spices like cinnamon or something. It's British salt.
I don't know why I find that so funny, but yeah. Anyway, sorry.
That's all right. Football or porridge? You just want a full hour on porridge? Could stay there if you want.
I just had a vision of Nigel Farage just absolutely booting a little tub of cinnamon, like just fucking raging.
Seen that boy that did the cinnamon challenge, was it Alan Parry or whatever, or who was it? They couldn't. He was like trying to take the spoon of cinnamon. He was.
When was this? This was surely about 20 years ago.
It was when that cinnamon challenge was like you take a spoonful of cinnamon, and I was like, "Oh, I can do. All you pussies can't do it." And he's like, water, water. You seen that, Andrew? He pours water. Water.
Oh,
Lethal, that cinnamon. Get deported.
Oh, fucking hell. Get deported, yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
What a start to the pod we've had. Fuck me.
that's what you expect on a bumper, one episode a week. We've got a room to discuss other.
Watch the listenership just crumble.
We'll be listening to this and it'll all be cut. Sam will be busy tonight.
I cut nothing you say, mate. Nothing. Apart from when you gave away your kids' nursery in episode 1 and the times that they get picked up. I had to cut that out for legal reasons. Anyway. On to the Scottish Premiership, if we can, if the listeners want us to. Again, let us know in the comments. Would you rather just speak about porridge? Is that better than our Scottish football chat? Probably is. We're not going to dive straight into the big fixture of the weekend, which was obviously Hearts v Celtic. We're going to start off with the Messiah, as he's known on this podcast, John McGlynn, with a triumphant 4-1 victory at the Falkirk Stadium over a rather lacklustre Hibernian. Now, my friend of the pod, he's a previous guest, was chatting to him today, and resident Hibby, and he said that his group chats over the weekend were popping off, to quote the kids, popping off with people hating on David Gray. A lot of them really not happy about what they're seeing. Some of them wanting him to go, and he was of the opinion that that is absolute nonsense, which I think is pretty much the opinion of the pod. I know, Andrew, you and I are on the same page. Matthew, we can come to you in a sec, but my argument back to him was, surely the expectation for David Gray as a Hibs manager is to do better than what you did last year. It's what any manager would be told, I would imagine. And before the game kicked off on Saturday, they were 9 points better off after 22 games versus last season. So therefore, doing a better job, I would argue. Yes, going out the cup to Dunfermline, a championship side, is not great. But I think they've only lost 2 games in their last 9 and are 6 games unbeaten at Easter Road, something like that. Including a derby win in there. So, thoughts on David Gray, the Hibs fans, that result generally? What are you saying to Andrew?
I mean, look, it's a bad result. First and foremost, I can understand, fans being upset. It's two results on the bounce that are, not good. Getting kicked out by Dunfermline, and the cup is not good at all. It's well below standard for Hibs. And then getting, absolutely trounced by Falkirk, they're 2 bad results. However, as you said, putting it into context, they're 2 bad results. That's it. Ultimately, prior to that, drew with Motherwell. Even into last month, the worst result they had was a draw against Dundee United. They lost to Rangers, but I mean, Rangers are on ridiculous form at the moment. They've just had a little blip, really, to be honest. I don't think it's anything more than that. They won the derby. They beat Aberdeen during December as well, and then this month, convincingly beat Kilmarnock. They beat Falkirk convincingly last month. It's just out of character, that's all. But you got to be careful what you wish for, because if you make a change now, if the fans do sort of create uproar, I guess, right now, and they do change out their manager, it's a terrible time to do it. It really is a terrible time to do it. And if you are further ahead than where you were last season, I just don't really see the logic. I just think from a Hibs perspective, they're maybe a little bit more kind of rattled, I guess, because of the whole Hearts situation. Motherwell, again, in ridiculous form. I mean, Motherwell over the last 15 games are in better form than Hearts are. So, I can totally understand that kind of perspective, but you've got to come back to reality. Hibs are where they should be, as I said last week, in the table. I don't think they've got anything to be upset about. If this form continues, for weeks and weeks and weeks, then yeah, of course, it's a problem. But it's two bad results, two uncharacteristic results.
Simple as that. Thoughts, Matthew, on the Hibs fans that are wanting David Gray gone?
I can understand where they're coming from. I mean, when you look at Motherwell and their, exotic appointment, you're thinking, is David Gray still the caretaker who did well in one season? Could we have more ambition to perhaps employ a more exciting manager that'll perhaps implement a exciting, consistent performances out of them? Again, that's one idea. The other, you could say that he deserves the chance to continue what he's started at Hibs. Yeah, Andrew's right. The last week has been poor, and those two results have been very poor, coupled with the Hearts being top of the league. It does make you wonder, why can't it be us? But the league is quite strong this year, especially the teams above Hibs. So, yeah, I think it's easy to jump on the back of the manager after a cup defeat to a lower league opposition and getting battered by Falkirk. But
What was the expectation pre-season? It's never to finish above Rangers and Celtic, so you can exclude those two. And right now, Hearts are having the best season they've ever had, and Motherwell are having the best season they've had for a long time.
You're right.
So, and that's who they're behind. So,
You're right.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's a
for
case
Hibs
of
to be breaking
take your
into
medicine,
that,
yeah.
they'd have to be having their best season of all time, and you can't you can't expect that. That's not what you should be
No.
expecting as a fan. And I think what happened to Goodwin at Aberdeen, and Don's fans in the comments tell me I'm bang wrong, but Goodwin at Aberdeen got beat by Darvel, and then lost 1-0 up at Celtic, got beat by Rangers in the Cup semi-final, I think it was, at Hampden, and then lost convincingly. It was 5-1 and 6-0 or something like that to Hibs and Hearts. So it's a 5-game run that got him the boot. Gray is currently 2 games into this, what potentially could be a bad run. They've got Rangers at the weekend, don't they, Hibs? And then I think they play us, Dundee United, after that, which could be a potential banana skin. He could be 4 or 5 games in a row without a win and be on the receiving end of his jotters, which, like you've just said, Andrea, is the worst possible time to do it. I just don't see what you'd gain from sacking him at this point. But that's what Scottish football's like, especially when you've got such a loud fan base who are incredibly fickle in my eyes.
Yeah, the thing is, what are you hoping is going to happen then? So at the moment, yes, Motherwell. Matthew made a good point. Motherwell, bringing in an Askew, which by the way was a huge gamble. Huge gamble. That easily couldn't have gone the way it has. He didn't have he didn't have an extensive CV, and there was no guarantees there for Motherwell that they were going to be able to play that type of football, and they're playing remarkably well this season, really, really well, and they are where they deserve to be. Hibs, they have a long-term manager, that type of project manager in Gray, at the moment. So it's chalk and cheese. Askew's probably not going to be there next season, so Motherwell have to go back to the drawing board. Whereas Hibs can remain pretty steady, hopefully guaranteeing themselves top 6, hopefully guaranteeing themselves, vying for European places when that's possible. That's really where they're at. For them to then transform into, a Motherwell in their form now, season on season on season on season, that's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. And to do the same as Hearts as well, again, without huge structural changes, that's not going to happen either. So Hibs are where they kind of should be, but at the moment, what Rangers have got them on the weekend, there's not one Rangers fan that I've heard that is thinking this is going to be an absolute breeze on the weekend. That everyone thinks that Hibs are going to react and try and bounce back from those 2 bad results. So if they were a shit team, then no one would really be expecting that. So yeah, it's a bad week. It's not more than that. That's it. It's just a bad week.
Yeah, I would agree. And any fan that, on the back of a bad couple of weeks, wants the manager gone, especially such a great servant of the club and someone who loves the club and has a good relationship with the fans, it seems like David Gray. Yeah. Hang your head in shame. Boo, bloody fickle bastards. Anything else on Hibs Falkirk apart from just chugging off John McGlynn again, Matthew?
What can you say about John McGlynn? Look at the team that played against. Look at the team that played against Hibs. The team that, honestly, look at the team on paper. You got two boys coming for like an amateur football or university teams. You got boys that have played in League One. You got boys coming for Rovers. You got players that played with him in League One. It's unbelievable the job he's done and continuing to do. So just keep going, John, and you'll get your just rewards sometime soon.
Which will be
Scotland job.
called it here first in what, September of last year, something like that.
I'll never not call it. I'll bloody go to the war for John McGlynn.
Go to war. Okay.
He's going to get another Manager of the Year award, the third consecutive one, surely. Like, if he gets that Falkirk team top 6.
Oh, surely. Yeah, big time. And the Tinpot Award, which he was awarded at the end of last season, I think, for his efforts to get them up to the Premiership. On the flip side, we speak quite highly of David Martindale, or we have done in previous podcast episodes. And do you see when, like, and I'm not saying anything bad about him because he's been at Livy for a long time. He's obviously done a great job there. But when you compare it to what John McGlynn's done, taking him from the first division, or League One, whatever it's called, all the way up to the Prem and now battling in the top 6, what has stopped David Martindale do something differently, like, or something similar, in the past? Because he's now at the bottom of the league and seems to be creating excuse after excuse every week, some of which are valid, don't get me wrong, the refereeing's a joke, but they are similarly sized clubs, I would say. Falkirk are much better fan base and better attendances, but you're just yo-yoing. Like, what?
John McGlynn,
he's a good gaffer, I guess.
He's a lot better than Falkirk, respectfully, so that's the difference. Whereas I think Martindale is Livingston's level, realistically, I mean that with the greatest of respect, but also as well, Martindale has not had the CV that McGlynn's had. McGlynn really is, ingrained in particularly Scottish football, for such a long time. Whereas Martindale's CV on that side is pretty short. So yeah, it's chalk and cheese really. If you had McGlynn in charge of that Livy team, are they pushing top 6? Maybe, that's the thing. So how McGlynn is still at Falkirk is just miraculous. I surely can't last.
I get your point, and I agree, but we all seem to, and not just us today, I'm talking about Scottish football podcasts or pundits, media, whatever, all seem to just say the same thing about Martindale over and over. It's like, oh, he's one of the good guys and a good manager and all that sort of stuff. And I'm not saying he's not, but when does the time come where you think, actually, should we take a chance on someone else? Because
yeah,
are you saying Livingston could never get someone at the caliber of John McGlynn? Because what is it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's kind of both. I agree with you that it's probably time for a change. I'm surprised that things haven't changed significantly at Livingston, given the fact that there's been a change of ownership. So I would have thought that there would have been a bigger cash injection into the playing squad than there has been. It's remained fairly tight. And that's tough going for a manager with Martindale CV, full stop. But if they want to take it a certain direction, surely they have their own plans. You would imagine that it's probably time for that change, or maybe has been time for that change for a while. But yeah, still stand by the point that McGlynn is or Falkirk are punching above their weight with McGlynn. They really are very lucky to have him. I don't think there's many teams in the Premiership that wouldn't have John McGlynn as a manager. So are they bigger teams than Falkirk? Potentially, but it'll be interesting to see where he goes. He's been making noises about wanting to go somewhere, with a bigger budget. I heard the Aberdeen deal is not happening. So yeah, I don't know why. If I were them, I'd be pushing the boat out, because imagine what you could do with a decent budget at Aberdeen. But hey, the time will come. and maybe Matthew's right, he's waiting for that Scotland job. But yeah, Livingston, I mean, there's no harm in them making a change right now, eh?
It's interesting that you say like there's no one in the Scottish Premiership that wouldn't look at John McGlynn, but I think we are all guilty of being very reactive to this. Like none of us were saying at the start of the season, John McGlynn should be tipped for these top 6 jobs, and now he's had 4 or 5 months, good months in charge in the top flight with Falkirk, and now we're saying that every team should look at him, and it's not
But he had
just
to prove
us.
himself though. Like that's the thing. Like he could have come
He's not
into
yet,
the
though.
Premiership and struggled.
The season's only halfway through.
I know it is, but I mean he's sitting on 33 points, and Livingston are sitting on 11, so I think he's all right. But realistically, with that Falkirk team, they should have been in and around the 10th, 11th, 12th place, as Matthew said, because they've got players that have come from amateur football, players that have come from League One, etc. So how he's got them to where they are right now is enough. He could lose just about every game between now and the end of the season. He's still done a great job. So, but he won't. Like he's doing remarkably well.
It's the way they play as well. The football they play is brilliant. They attack teams. They're on the front foot. They're not scared of anyone. They take the game to Celtic, take the game to Rangers. They really play in a progressive way, which is great. Whereas Livingston kind of have a history of being a bit more physical, and that's probably the reason why, because that can't get you as far really as being like an actual football team.
Yeah,
Touche. Right. Let's stop being so positive about football and let's laugh at some other things. I don't know. Maybe won't go to Tynecastle just yet. We'll discuss the title race more openly, I suppose. Rangers have firmly cemented their names, if they weren't already, as one of the front 3 favourites for this year's Scottish Premiership title. I think the bookies now have all 3 teams as pretty much the exact same odds. Celtic are marginally ahead, then it's Rangers, then it's Hearts. So Rangers were triumphant at Ibrox, a clean sheet and 3 goals, one of which was Tavernier's 100th league goal for Rangers from the penalty spot. 99 of which goals, I believe, have come from the same 12 yards out. And then 2 sort of 90-plus minutes goals to...
actually.
I was close. But yeah, they got 2 goals in injury time to secure the win and put them within 4 points of Hearts and 2 points clear of Celtic. So yeah, they are right in the title race now. They're the best form team, I think. Danny Rose only lost 1 game since he came in the league, which was 2 league leaders Hearts, and 2 draws aside from that, so 12 victories in the Scottish Premiership. They are the form team out of the 3 in that race. Andrew, did you catch the highlights? You watched the game. What's your thoughts from...
Yeah, I caught the highlights, extended highlights, and I was listening to the game live. A bit of a scrappy first half, to be honest. But yeah, very composed second half, and Dundee have got some big results this season, so they're not a team to be underestimated, especially against the Old Firm. So yeah, a very convincing second half, particularly. Butland didn't really have anything to do. But yeah, just really impressed with what Danny Rule's done. That's 38 points in 15 games. Motherwell 32, Hearts 29, Celtic 28. So it really does show how good that form has been. It's really, really impressive. So yeah, very interesting. Good to see a couple of new signings. Getting a bit of action, particularly first half, wee bit the second half. So Skov Olsen and Chikwani. Chikwani looks like a decent player, actually. Really good find him. So we'll see how he develops. Skov Olsen was a wee bit rusty, but he had some really good flashes of quality. So I'm sure once he kind of gets fully up to speed, he'll be a good addition to the team. But yeah, business isn't done yet, so I think there's still another 1 or 2 signings to come in, which is great. But yeah, feeling positive. I wouldn't say I'm feeling confident, but I'm feeling positive about the title race. It's exciting. It's really exciting. Hearts, great team. Obviously, we'll come to them in Celtic. They are where they should be. Hearts. And yeah, Celtic are very up and down. So be really, really interesting to see what happens between now and then. But yeah, Motherwell are very quickly sort of nibbling at the heels of third, so I wouldn't totally discount them as well.
Just quickly moving away from the title race thing, I saw something on social media about this chap Kyle Glasgow, this like 15-year-old kid for Rangers who's been, I think he's played for the Portugal under-16s and stuff as well. He's been looked at by clubs abroad and clubs down in the English Premiership, and I think you guys have maybe just been looking to get him on a professional contract or something. Is that right?
That's right. He's agreed to his professional contract, which will be official on his 16th birthday. So I think that's next week or something like that. But yeah, Danny was really keen to play him in the Scottish Cup game against Annan, but the rules didn't allow a 15-year-old to play, which is absolutely crazy considering you see players, down south taking their debuts, at a young age. So I think that maybe needs to get looked at. But anyway, especially with the cooperation agreement too, if you're going to be sending young players out to teams in League One, League Two, Championship or whatever, then if they can't actually fucking play, it's mental. But
did we Karamoko not get a game for Celtic age 15? No, or am I making that up?
I think I don't know if it's just a Scottish Cup thing. I'm not too sure. But, but yeah, it was a good opportunity to try and give him a run out. But yeah, lots of promising feedback about him. I've heard about him for a while. There's a few podcasts that do sort of shows about the sort of youngsters, and yeah, he's been a bit of a standout. So very talented. Maybe not the most physical, understandably at 15, but I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. So hopefully can maybe lock him down in the Scotland setup rather than the Portuguese, and yeah, maybe could be a bright spark for Rangers in the future. He's a Rangers fan, so he's been really determined to try and get his debut and kick on here. So that's something that we've not managed to do for a long, long time. So it's good to see that kind of changing.
Absolutely wild. There's a footballer out there getting a professional contract who was born in 2010.
I know. Scary, isn't it?
Pretty scary. Struggy, thoughts on the Rangers? What's I don't know if you've seen much of them recently. Are they your favourites for the title race at this point? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think just based on their the manager and what he's done, the way they're getting results, they're very strong at set pieces, very powerful. He's got them defending well, and if they get penalties like that, then they'll be fine. I didn't know you got a penalty given for you for trying to block a shot. Like, how many times does that happen in a game? Scandalous.
What for fouling someone in the box?
Trying to block a shot. He wasn't trying to tackle the boy. Trying to block. That happens about 5 times a game. No, you're trying to block the
Ball
shot.
Was already away. Ball was already away.
You see that all the time. That's a joke. But nah,
yeah, sure.
Never a penalty. Rangers, though, they do look good, and I like Danny Rowe. He seems to have them playing.
You mean Daddy Cool?
He's got them playing with a real fire in their belly, Daddy Cool.
Yeah.
And he's making players out of players that were pretty shite, and he's making them look really good.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
He understands how to win. That's what he needs as an old firm manager. And fair play to Rangers legend Hibernian, 100 goals. Good on you, son.
Yeah.
One of the best players of all time ever play for Rangers. It's just a fact now. But yeah, did you hear Presley afterwards? Stephen Presley, I was quite impressed with his post-match. He was saying that they wanted to come to places like Ibrox and win games. And he was annoyed that we're only 1-0 down. I mean, that's quite a refreshing attitude for him or for a manager a team like Dundee. I mean, it's quite nice to show some ambition rather than just sort of bend over. So fair play to Presley. I think more as the season's going on, I think he's changing folks' minds. I think the way he speaks, clearly he's a bit different.
Interesting.
That's what you want.
He's obviously come out and said that, and saying it's one thing, but he's not set his team up really. So people have been slagged off in the past for playing negatively and trying to nick a 1-0 win, like trying to play a low block as they call it, or sit back and try and counter late on and get the win that way. And it's been dubbed as boring and stuff. But you're saying it's good and it's refreshing that he's come out and said that. But I don't know, what's the difference between managers of the past? So Goodwin at Aberdeen was criticised heavily for not being... I know Aberdeen have a bigger budget than Dundee, but been criticised heavily for not taking on teams like the Old Firm and try to sit back and get them on the counter. But now you're saying it's refreshing that Presley's had that approach.
Well, just the way he speaks, perhaps there's ways to set your team up to try and win the game at Ibrox, and he wants to try and win. So, unlike some teams in the league that go to away games and try and play for draws, like the boys in green, who go away and try and draw games. I mean, he wants to try and win. I mean, that will take time if he's going to get time to implement a certain style or build a squad. Who knows? Maybe next season, next couple of years, you can go to Rangers and win, or Celtic or anyone. I think it's nice to hear him say it, because what's the point in playing football or being a team like Dundee if you're not going to have ambition to try and win these games? You can't just go down and hope you're not going to lose 3 or 4-0. Like, you want to try and take the game to these teams. I think if he can continue to be given the opportunities, I mean, who knows what he can do. But yeah, he certainly changed my mind. So fair play to him, because this man's turning.
Egg on all of our faces. We were slagging him off rotten. And so was the whole of Scottish football media. I think at the start of the season, we're all taking the piss out of him. And he's proven us all wrong. So far, anyway, still 15 games or so to go in the season, and a lot can happen in that time. But yeah, as much as I don't want to see Dundee do well, I do feel slightly guilty for taking the piss out of a man who's just trying to do his job, and he's doing a bloody good job.
Shame on you.
Yeah, shame on us all. Poor.
Oh, just on you, mate.
No, just on you.
Yeah, just on you.
Oh yeah, just on me. Fair enough. At least I'm big enough to fucking admit it, you dicks.
Shame on you.
Bloody leave me out to dry. Right, on to Tynecastle. Loads and loads of headlines made in both the front page and the back page from this game. It was 2-2. Celtic took the lead early on through a fantastic Benjamin Negrin free kick. Hearts equalised through yet another Stu Finlay header. I think Hearts would be sitting in third place in the league if it wasn't for his goals this season, so that shows how important he's been from an attacking perspective. Celtic then went 2-1 up and then got a man sent off, which was apparently dubious, but we'll get onto that in just a sec. And then Hearts equalised when Celtic were down to 10 men through their talisman this season, Claudio Braga. Martin O'Neill, post-match, was livid about said red card, so we'll probably start with that and get your thoughts on his comments about he didn't see it was a yellow card, a red card, or even a blue card at that. I don't know what he's watching, because for me it's a red card all day long. Come to you first, Matthew, as the sort of neutral here, or more of a neutral than Andrew would be. What's your thoughts? Was it a red card?
Yeah, it was a red card. Like, you say, there's a covering man, but yeah, the man's actually gained on him because he's been taken out. Like, if the guy running at full speed, he's not going to be caught, so it's clearly a red card. Yeah, that's it really. Red card for me.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Red card. Last man challenge. Come on. I mean, that's been a
Andrew?
law forever.
Oh, sorry.
Seriously.
Yeah, no, I don't really see what the argument is. I mean, the only way it wouldn't be last man is if the defender could get to the player or the ball is really not the player, but the defender could get to the ball. The defender was miles away from the ball. Like, if you drew like an offside line, there's no doubt that defender would be closer to the byline than the striker was when he was taken out. I think that's right. But as you're looking at it from the striker's perspective, he's taking the ball to the right, and the defender is miles away from him to the left. So he can't really count as a last man because he's never getting to him. You'd have to be Usain Bolt to get to him, really. So it's not going to happen. But there's been all sorts of angles for whinging about this. It's been it wasn't a red card, and then why are VAR checking this? It's like, well, why is that an argument? Like, they came to the right decision. So. To be honest, Celtic need to have a look at themselves. That's 2 red cards in 2 games. Really bad discipline. So they need to get a handle on that, because if they keep that up, which I'm sure will change now that they've put in an appeal and they'll start sort of putting their foot on the neck again of the officiating. But if they keep picking up these red cards, they are going to start really struggling. To get where they're aiming to go, so they need to stamp that out. But red card all day long for me.
Yeah, 100%. There was two points made by one was an ex-English referee, I think, and one was one of the Sky Sports pundits. They said that because the ball's going away from the goal, that was one of the arguments made, that it couldn't be a goal scoring opportunity. And the other was that the player didn't have control of the ball. Kabore didn't have control of the ball, so therefore it can't be a goal scoring opportunity for the player. But I've just got Sky's X account here. This is not our material, just in case we get sued. We're just going to, for those of you watching, we'll be able to watch another replay of the red card here. And the biggest annoyance for me about the argument that the ball's not going towards goal is that the ball is going towards goal. The ball is going
for a throw-in, is it?
It's going towards the byline, and that's where the goal is. So if Kabore runs through and gets the ball next, he can shoot with his next touch, which would be, and the ball is currently going closer to the goal than it is further away.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Like he's definitely getting a shot away. Like you can't argue that.
He's rapid,
and there's no way that defender on the left-hand side of him is getting to that ball quicker than he's getting to it. There is no way.
Was there a covering man from the other side, or
no?
So he's in no man's land. I'm gonna just pause it. So that's where the foul's made. There's no chance he can get back because he's 10 yards further up. There's no chance that this fella can get back on the left-hand side. So, and the ball's going towards the goal. Yeah, it's going to the right of the goal, but it's going in that direction. I've never heard so much nonsense. And anyway, we'll all agree on that and move on to more about Martin O'Neill's comments. The most petulant excuse ever. You are the team in the league with the biggest budget, the most valuable team, all the resources in the world, and you got played off the park. Like, simply, you created less chances than Hearts. They deserve to win the game. You were lucky to come away with a draw. 10 men or not. Your keeper kept you in the game for the first time in about 18 months. And to stand there as the manager or the staff or a player of that football club or a fan and be, we didn't get the decision. Load of absolute tripe.
Yeah, they're
You've been played off the park and you just don't like it. It's the first time you've had a bad run since Rangers won the league in 2021, 22, whenever it was. It's the first time things aren't going your way and the toys are out the pram and you're just making every excuse under the sun. Most petulant, arrogant, entitled fan base.
Yep. And like I was saying earlier, they're trying to gaslight us with this fucking nonsense that they're spinning, and the Celtic media are spinning about how their squad's so terrible and they have no players and it's such a weak. Are you joking? Like, seriously, I thought the squad won the league last year and they're suddenly terrible players, and you go away to Hearts and there's a Celtic. Imagine you seeing a Celtic team or whoever going away to a team and playing for the draw like Celtic. It's embarrassing. You should be the team on the ascendancy, and you shouldn't be holding on for a point. And this is a Hearts team without Shankland, Beningame, and Devlin. You got that boy Leonard playing his first game, just signed like on the fucking Friday. He was class running the game. You've got a Celtic squad that clearly are I don't even know why they're playing so poorly, and a manager that's clearly out of his depth. Obviously, I said that he could be the manager, or he vibes, but clearly he's feeling the pressure of trying to manage this group of players. So, I mean, they need to look in the mirror and understand that they're underperforming, and that the players are good enough, and so suddenly the players are terrible and the squad's terrible. It's just like bizarre. Like, how can the squad be so terrible and need all these reinforcements? What are you talking about? Poorly coached, you know.
I agree. Like I've obviously been banging this drum for a while, but I really can't have sympathy to say, that team's terrible, and you look at the lineup, let's actually talk about it then, shall we? Schmeichel, Araujo, who they've just signed.
From Bournemouth,
exactly. I know he's on loan,
they paid
but
money
they've
for
just
him,
signed him.
Bournemouth.
Trusty, Scales, and Tierney at the back. Then you've got Engels, McGregor, and Negrin in midfield. You've got Yang, you've got Maeda, and you've got Shun fucking Kara.
Some new boy was supposed to be a wonder kid, like playing up front. Who's playing like 50 grand a week.
He apparently did okay in the game, but you cannot tell me that is a bad team. Like, but this has been the whole fucking season. Like that. There's nothing wrong with that starting 11.
I know.
There's nothing wrong with it. Like, it's not like you're like, shit, they're playing like 4 teenagers or
No,
something.
we're so proud of
You
the
know,
boys for
like-
getting a draw at Hearts. They were so proud of them. They fought hard at the fucking Celtic, mate. Like,
Well, the
seriously,
thing is,
they're not
they're
fucking
wasting
League
time.
One,
They're
the Scottish
hanging
Cup.
on.
I
You
know.
know, they're like a boxer who's just taken a big hit and they're in the clinch for the rest of the fight. You know, it was I know they went down to 10 men, but I'm sorry, but if you line up those two teams, you know, like for like, it's chalk and cheese. Tam was obviously talking about budgets there, but that's a Celtic team that had 3 shots on target for that whole game. And bearing in mind, Trusty was sent off near the 80th minute.
Yeah, they were battered even before that. They were absolutely battered. The whole game,
That's
they were
what I
under the
mean.
cosh.
So-
Like,
You can't tell me like, oh well, that totally changed the game. Like you should be with that team winning that game comfortably, especially when you've got the mentality of champions and you're able to use that experience to get across the line. Hearts are in no man's land at the moment. Hearts have never been this far up the table, in this situation where they've got something to defend and hang on to for such a long time, by the way, as well. So, that mentality shift is huge that Derek McInnes has had to manage and negotiate. Then you put in the fact that obviously, as you said, you've got 3 very key players. Devlin was, in my opinion, their best player against Celtic last time. He was a pain in the arse for Callum McGregor. He was actually one of the few players that really managed to get under his skin, and actually cause a huge problem in midfield. And Shankland, I mean, we really don't need to say too much about him. But without having those two, forget about Beningame, without having those two on the pitch, to then get a result, on the day is extraordinary for Hearts. It's really, unbelievable. But I'm sick of this excuse circus, going round and round and round all season for Celtic.
Two points to make about that. One is that I just want to point out and say that I'm not sitting here saying that just because we've got a better team, like it's embarrassing to lose that game. That's not my point here. Or to draw the game, to drop points. That's not the issue. Like any team, if you're a Bayern Munich and you play the bottom team in the Bundesliga, you can still get beat. If you're Celtic, you can still get beat off Livingston, off anyone. So to draw away at the league leaders' Hearts, that's not the problem I've got. It's the reaction to losing the game and blaming it on lack of activity in the transfer market, which is your point, Andrew, and the squad is good enough. But then also, blaming it on a red card. You were outperformed and outplayed. Just stand aside and take a minute just to get beat or draw the game with respect and say, look, you were the better team. We were, and look internally. Look at this guy that they can't say a bad word about, Martin O'Neill. And this is the same team with actually 2 new signings added to it that they were chugging over when Martin O'Neill got them to a cup final before Nancy came in. And he won 7 in a row in the league, and he's like, oh, he brought us back, he's revived us, and all this sort of stuff. Martin O'Neill singing his name. I'm not slagging him off because he's not done a bad job since he came back this time. But surely, with that level of experience in the game, give respect to Derek McInnes, give respect to the Hearts team, and just say they deserved it. We weren't at it, and don't make a big deal about this red card. But
yeah,
they're appealing it now, and it's going to make fucking no difference because you've still dropped the points. I mean, you're still...
It will make a difference. They do this every season, just about. They start to put the pressure on the authorities, and then you'll soon see a pattern change. Trust me.
Oh,
but it happens.
Conspiracy.
It happens every time, though. It does, and that's what Brendan Rodgers was really good at. Like he was really good at publicly humiliating the officiating, to the point where there was too much pressure to make these big decisions, in games like this. So it'll be interesting to see when they play them post split. If it's a different story. But yeah, it's a shame when you have to kind of rely on that desperation. But yeah, they got what they deserved. They absolutely
Hearts were so good, man.
They got
Hearts
more than
were...
what they deserved, to be honest.
Yeah, you come with your pathetic little feeble tactics to try and get a point, and you get battered, and you were lucky to get your point. Hearts were just so dominant. Just McInnes is tactics, very brave, and he's clearly understands what's required. And Hearts look really, really good. So you can see them going. You can see it going right to the wire. This title race. It's going to be very interesting. But
It'll be post split for sure.
Hearts aren't going away. That's for sure. Looks really good.
Yeah,
for sure, indeed.
brilliant.
I guess the sort of key dates for the calendar between now and the split are this weekend. Rangers have Hibs. Is it at Easter Road, Andrew? Are you aware?
I think it is away.
I
Yeah,
think it is,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure. Yeah,
That's a big game for Rangers in the title race. The Old Firm is obviously on the 1st of March, and on the 15th of February we have Rangers and Hearts, which is at
Wow.
Ibrox, I believe.
Wow.
yeah. I mean,
So those are the
they're hard
three
games.
biggies.
Yeah, real tough games. We've got Motherwell immediately before that on the Wednesday as well. So, yeah, they're more than capable of pinching points off of anyone. So, yeah, don't discount any of those Motherwell games against Hearts, Celtic and Rangers. They're more than capable. So, yeah, it's exciting. It's really exciting. I'm delighted that there's this tension, going on, because it's proper entertainment, and this is what you want. You want more than a 2-horse race. You want more than a 1-horse race, is what we've had for such a long time. But to have 3, possibly 4 teams in it, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
It is. We've picked a good season, lads, to start a Scottish football podcast. The most memorable season since must be the 80s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, that's the title race stuff done. Matthew, just very quickly, in a word, we're going to keep sort of doing this, I guess, over the next few weeks and see how our opinions change. Who's winning the league?
Rangers.
Andrew? You have to say,
At
I
the
think.
start, it's Rangers.
He did say at the start.
You
We
did.
laughed at him. We were laughing at him.
Yeah, back in Russell Martin's days.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, that feels like a lifetime ago. I said Celtic at the start, and when Hearts were just beat Celtic, we did another sort of revision, and then Matthew and I did an end of year sort of predictions halfway through the season, and I still said Celtic. So I'm going to have to stick with my prediction. I really hope it is Hearts, but I'll stick with my prediction. I don't see how. I really don't see them as favourites now, but I'll stick with them. Unlike all the fans who have turned their backs. Right. A very, very brief what's the point in. That's not the headline of this episode by any stretch, but it is my turn to give a what's the point in for this week. It'll just be nice and short and snappy. And it kind of stemmed from Martin O'Neill's interview a wee bit, but it was also, I was listening to the radio for the first time in a long time on a drive back down from Aberdeen, and a lot of the interviews were coming on from different games, and then I got home and I watched Sports Scene, and I was just very, very bored of the interviews. And I don't know if you two have ever felt this before, or if any of the listeners have felt this, but what's the point in interviews? Full stop. To do with Scottish football in this context.
You mean players or
anyone?
anyone?
Because players and managers now, they're media trained. Even I don't know if it happens at the lower levels, at League One, Championship. I'd imagine at some clubs it probably does. Say this, don't say that, don't mention this, don't use these types of words. And managers now must be interviewed twice throughout the week, sort of pre-match conferences, a day or two out from the game. They'll get a pre-match interview, they'll get a post-match interview, players will get interviewed. And most of these teams have 2 games a week. Some, like your Old Firm teams, sometimes have 3 games a week. It's just rinse and repeat. It's so boring. What is the benefit? You're actually much more powerful to have. So Andrew, you've been a big advocate of boards coming out and calling a press conference and the board speaking. You'd be much more powerful having a sort of monthly, hour-long interview with maybe a board member, a manager, and a player, and you're getting into loads of detail about certain things. It's still not going to be that interesting because they're all media trained. So that kind of, I'm just trying to think of a solution, because the amount of interviews we get now is shite. It's way too much. It's boring. They all say the same shit.
The one that gets me is like the player that gets interviewed after a game. How do you feel about that? Yeah, great. But I mean, why do we have to interview players like straight after a game that they're like fucking knackered and their minds elsewhere, and then nothing of any relevance or any interest is ever said after a player gets interviewed after a game? Like, just scrap that. Waste of time. I agree with you on that point.
I don't
Managers,
know.
you
I'm
like your player
against.
getting interviewed?
I'm against all this, right? To be honest with you, I like it. So I think what I like most about it is you get to kind of understand the mentality that's within the kind of playing group, and that's what I find most insightful. So you can tell when, I mean, there's been a few interviews over the course of the season. Obviously, I tend to watch the Rangers ones a little bit more than I would the others, but it's you can tell when we've had a roller coaster this season. You can tell when the group's heads are down, where there's it feels like there's no way out. Where certain players maybe don't have what it takes to sort of have that mentality to play for the club. It gives you good insight. And likewise with the managers, it's how they handle difficulties, frustrations, if they're throwing players under the bus, how the players then going to react to that. If they're not given the opportunity to do that, then ultimately you're not really seeing how, what's unfolding inside. I think for our season this season, seeing like Russell Martin, pick wrong decision after wrong decision in these kind of interviews, it just gave such a good insight into why things were going so drastically wrong. And likewise with Nancy, I mean, no one can ever take away that beautiful rant that, I watched about 2-3 times. It was absolutely superb. So I don't know. I find them maybe not entertaining in the sense that, it's not going to live up to the match, but I find them insightful, to find out kind of where their head's at, I guess.
I think there's too many of them, Tam. Like, there's too many.
Too many. Yeah. I mean, a player's job to me is to play football. If you interview them and they're not the best at talking, or if they're not that good at seeming emotional or seeming up for it, or like speaking in any way, they might get shy or they might be different in front of the cameras to what they are in the changing room. The fans' reaction is, "Oh, he's no up for it." Well, fucking, his job's to play football. Let him just play football. And then you've got managers that clearly trip themselves up because they're not very good with the media, and then all the fans jump on it, being like, "Oh, he's thrown this guy under the bus or done that." And a manager's a bit different to a player because his job is to speak, especially in front of players. But there's just, yeah. I mean, my point about it was more that everyone's media trained and everyone just says the same boring shit. So I'm not going to digress into like the Russell Martin and the reasons for having an interview with a manager and reasons not for. I just personally find there are way too many of them. They're all the same. No one really says anything different. Sean Dyche is pretty funny. I'll give him that. Holloway was pretty funny back in the day. I don't know who else. Moisey, he's quite funny. But yeah, if I'm saying what's the point, then for me it's that. I find them all a bit tedious.
Fair play.
There we go. Not quite as interesting as the SFA or
Gloves.
Aberdeen.
Still on the gloves, mate. That's next week.
But
Next
yeah,
week
back to
on my
Struggy
one.
next week.
Yeah.
He'll come up with something hilarious. Right,
What's
I'm
the
going
point
to
in
read
cottage
you
cheese?
in your porridge. Another excerpt from Pitches and Pies, Lower League Scottish Football in the Perfect Pie by Bruce Walker. And this week we are attending a match through the eyes of Bruce, or through the words of Bruce. Saturday, 17th December 2022. Heriot Watt University versus Lochgelly Albert.
Oh, look, Albert. Come on.
Yeah, Fife. Starting to act like a true addict. As the big freeze continued from last week, I was becoming more and more desperate to secure my Saturday fix. Several games identified as possibilities this week. One by one, they fell to the dreaded unplayable pitch postponement. I kept checking the weather forecast and social media posts to see what games had a chance. More and more frustration as the weather forecast changed and more stupid warnings issued. Some teams teased me by saying they were confident of playing and avoided a Friday night inspection. I woke up on Saturday morning and straight onto the excellent website of Scottish football fixtures to see what was left, if anything. Was I starting to shake, as unfortunately seemed to be starting off every post I read? Games in Ayrshire and Glasgow falling one by one, then Armadale off as well. The reality of no pie started to kick in, and I'm sure the shaking got worse. Of course, I could have gone to one of the SPFL games in the Central Belt that survived due to undersoil heating, but no real desire to see these after my experience last week, which was Queen's Park versus Montrose, by the way. So the only new ground option I had was to head to the Oriam Sports Complex for the East of Scotland Second Division game. This game survived as the home team have the option of moving the match to the indoor pitch at the complex, contained within a very large aircraft hangar-looking building. A slight disservice, as it is a very impressive white building with a complex roof structure that is made out of white PVC sheets that give a billowing effect. I am sure an architect would give you a better description. Remember, I am a cultural Philistine. Inside, the first thing that struck me was the big 3G artificial pitch. It looks like the Hampden pitch from last week. The roof allegedly allows in natural light, but despite all the metalwork and PVC, I found it slightly cheerless and dark inside. Maybe it was my aging eyes. On one side of the pitch, there's seating for 500 spread over 3 rows of flip-up seats and running the entire length of the pitch. The good thing about the seating is that it's raised above the pitch, offering excellent views wherever you choose to sit. Someone from Meadowbank should really have seen this facility before they created FC Edinburgh's new home. You also sit on the same side of the dugouts, allowing for eavesdropping of the words of wisdom, brackets or not, coming from the coaches and substitutes. Perhaps it was the nature of the rather one-sided 3-0 home win, but I thought the benches were rather quiet today. I had resigned myself that there'd be no pie today, given it was a sports complex, not a football ground. But as the players ran out onto the pitch, I still acted like Pavlov's dogs, drooling for a bite of a tasty Scotch pie. I'm sure it was the cold air that caused me to shake a little. As I caught the bus back to Edinburgh Park Station for the train on to Linlithgow, I managed to get over the lack of pie, perhaps helped by a return trip that was a complete opposite of the journey to the game. Straight onto a bus, then a train, back home in an hour. Just as well, I think my blood pressure would have rocketed again if the bus timetable had been utterly ignored, as it was on the outward journey. Always say bus timetables are a work of fiction, a bit like the BBC long-range weather forecasts. Finally, Bruce closes off the chapter with, "At least I got to a game, but I hope for a better choice next time." Friday evening, a game with a real reason for going to, and one that triggers positive memories. Today felt a bit clinical, a bit like the location. Good chapter from Bruce.
Well, it's like a little audiobook. Enjoyed that.
Yeah.
They need to get a man like in America where it goes around like a little thing on his, like a wee tray, and like hot dogs for sale, and he chucks like hot dogs and pies, Scotch pies for sale, and he launches them at you and that, he just chuck hot dogs in the baseball in America. So
Add that to Matthew's manifesto.
Yeah, get that man
I
around.
like that.
Pies for sale, get your pies for sale. Launches them at folk. Scotch
Do they have
pies
to
is
say it
okay.
like that as well?
Yeah. You have to put it up. Bad American accent. Get your bar roll for sale. Bar roll.
Just love a bomb roll at someone.
Have it? Yep.
Brilliant.
If you're wondering why, by the way, I sometimes say the wrong words or it sounds like I've maybe said the wrong thing. I'm not sure who proofread this before New Generation Publishing got their hands on it, but yeah.
Don't worry, I'll
not
proofread my ebook for the protein recipes, so I'll let you guys read it as well.
In a world where sponsorship is more accessible than ever, that world exists at sportsponsorship.co.uk. Whether you're interested in making a difference to your local community or further afield, or perhaps you're looking for access to tens of thousands of followers online to push your brand further than ever, get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk. That's sportsponsorship.co.uk.
Time for a quiz, lads. He's up for a quiz.
Of course.
Yes, please.
Excellent. You're teaming up, guys.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, it says I'm trying to reconnect. Do you still have me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Let's see your fuss.
This week, you're teaming up in a game of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Oh, look at this, man. That's fucking high level.
Also got the music to go along with. There's 12 questions coming up. They all have A, B, C, D options. You as a team need to tell me what your final answer is. And we don't have the phone a friend option or the ask the audience, so I'm just going to give you 3 50-50s. If that's okay.
Yep.
That sounds fine.
If you get to question 2 and you get the next one wrong, you're guaranteed the prize that accompanies the question 2, which will be revealed. No, it's not money. This is just for the purpose of a joke. Okay, question 1. What punishment is given to a player for committing a foul and stopping a goal-scoring opportunity? Is it A, a red card, B, yellow card, C, warning from the ref, or D, a blue card?
Ooh, Andrew, what do you think?
Got to be a blue card.
Maybe I'm at the game too long.
Oh, you're a very young reporter. But
I think A, Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Now, listen, young man. Calls everyone young man. Even the ladies.
A,
Right.
please, Chris. Final answer.
Is that your final answer?
Yep, Jeremy.
Yes,
Excellent.
please.
That is correct. I don't have any fancy animations to light it up green, but
Great.
I'll just confirm that is correct.
B.
So that's you up onto number 2. Oh, the prize has come on the next round. You need to get this question right to get the prize. Question 2. Who was the last Rangers manager to win a domestic treble? A, Walter Smith, B, Dick Advocaat, C, Mark Warburton, or D, Alex McLeish?
It's got to be Walter Smith, surely.
Did he win the treble in his last spell as Rangers manager? I think McLeish, mate.
Think so?
I'm not a Rangers fan.
I can't fucking remember, to be honest with you.
Go 50-50.
You do have 50-50s, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
It's true. What if you're left with McLeish and Smith?
Yeah, that was the other thing, yeah. Surely, did he in his second spell? I'm just trying to think.
I don't think he did.
No,
I don't know. Go 50-50, Tam, please.
maybe not.
Final answer 50-50 or final answer
Yeah,
McLeish
go
or
for
final
it.
answer Smith?
We'll go for
50-50?
it. 50-50.
Do you decide who you take away or what? Don't. Oh,
Oh, there we go. There
I've
you
been
go.
kind.
I like my cliche.
yeah, McLeish, thanks.
Alex McLeish, final answer is correct. Well done in the 02-03 season.
Prize, Andrew,
You've
prize.
bagged yourself a
Beautiful.
guaranteed 4-pack to share between the two of you.
Oh, beautiful.
I'm off it. So, Andrew, you're off as
So
well.
am
Oh, you're back to Tam.
Oh, all for me. Question number 3. Your options. Who is the top goal scorer for Scotland
Ooh.
under Steve Clarke? Is it A, Che Adams, B, Scott McTominay, C, John McGlynn, or D, Neil McCann?
It's surely got to be Neil McCann.
I think is it between McCann or McGinn? Definitely a Mick. Or McTominay.
Yeah.
McAdams.
Or
I think
McAdams?
it's got to be John McGinn, surely. I mean, I know Scott's scored a few, but McGinn's been consistent the whole time.
Yeah, he's had a longer kind of spell
Yeah.
at chipping in with goals, hasn't he? Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go with Neil McCann. Let's go with him.
Final answer?
No, answer C. Those
Final answer C, John McGlynn. Correct. He scored 20 goals for Steve Clarke and
Neil McCann.
Scotland.
How
Question
many
4.
goals-
Since the 2013-14 season, which was the start of the newly rebranded Scottish Championship, who is the top goal scorer? Is it A, Jason Cumdingo, B, Brian Graham, C, Lawrence Shankland, or D, Stephen Debbie, which should be saying Dobby?
Proofread your own quiz,
Yes.
you mug. I think it's
You fucking make it then.
I would have thought it was Brian Graham.
Yeah, I agree.
Final answer?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Correct. Well done, lads. You've won £5,000.
Come on.
Tell
Question
you
5.
what.
When Aberdeen won the League Cup in 2014, beating Inverness Caledonian Thistle on penalties, who was the Aberdeen goalkeeper? Was it A, Jamie Langfield, B, Scott Brown, C, Joe Lewis, or D, Danny Ward?
I think it was Clangers. I think it was Langfield.
Clangers.
Yeah, Andrew, I'm confident. I'm confident, mate.
That's what came into my head initially. So yeah, Danny Ward for some reason gave me the shits there. So but yeah, I'll stick with my gut as well. I'll go with Langfield. Yeah.
Yeah.
A reminder, if you lose now, we do no more questions and you go home with tenants. But that's fine.
We're fine, mate. We're fine, mate.
Final answer locked in, Langfield?
Yep.
Well done, that's correct. Question 5.
Oh,
I've just done the
nice
Chris Tarrant. He does make you second guess sometimes, you know.
one.
On to question 6. Dundee United lost the Scottish Cup final to St Johnstone at Celtic Park in 2014. Who were the last team to win the Scottish Cup at Celtic Park before this?
I think it's Hearts.
Was it A, Kilmarnock, B, Heart of Midlothian, C, Celtic,
Go for it.
or D,
I think Hearts
Rangers?
beat Rangers in like 97, 98, I'm sure.
At Celtic Park.
Celtic Park. It wouldn't have been Ibrox. Because obviously they're playing Rangers. I'm confident, mate.
Yeah.
I'm confident Hearts.
Go for it, mate. I think I hadn't a clue, to be honest with you. I wasn't
Banking
sure.
Hearts.
Motoring through these questions. Final answer?
Yeah.
Heart of Midlothian is the correct answer. Well done. That moves you on
Nice.
to question
Well done,
7,
mate.
I'm gonna win £1 million.
which is worth a prize of £50,000.
Shit, I've never seen so much money.
Which player was sent off for Celtic in the 02-03 UEFA Cup final? Was it A, Bibo Balde, B, Alan Thompson, C, Neil Lennon, or D, Jos Valharen?
I think first name came to my head was Jos Valharen, but I don't know why.
Yeah. It's either B or D for me. I'm pretty confident it's not A or C.
No. I think we go.
Alan Thompson's a bit of a legend as well, so you think that would really hang about him for
I
a
know.
long time, and it
I
would
think it was
come
a
up all
defender,
the time.
definitely. Like, I think it was.
Yeah,
Valgaeren.
I think it has to be. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's
You do
go with
have
that.
2 more 50-50s.
Nah, just lock it in, mate.
Yeah.
Final
lock and
answer?
loaded.
Yep, Jos Valgaeren.
You could have had
Oh, for God's sake.
£50,000. The answer was A, Bobo Balde.
Oh,
Is it
was it
actually?
actually?
It was
Oh,
genuinely,
shit,
yeah,
oh.
Bobo Balde.
I was really
I
confident.
tried to-
It wasn't.
Get you to go for a 50-50, but that's you crashed all the way back down to Tenants.
And that's
Well,
what
at
it
least
must
we
feel
got
like in the
tenants.
real show. Absolutely gutted.
Do you want to see what you could have won?
No.
We can try and
Yeah.
soldier on. I'll tell you what. I'll give you one last chance to soldier on for the mega prize, but you're not allowed any more. You're not allowed any lifelines. Okay.
Okay, just
Okay.
cut that bit out. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say A, Bobo Balde.
Baldy.
Question 8. Oh, this is what you could have won. A Big Mac meal each was the next prize.
Oh, wash it down with the tenants and go straight to hospital.
Question 8. Between 1994 and 24-25, so that's 30 years there or thereabouts, which team have won the Scottish Third Division or the League Two, because it changed names, the most? Is it A, Arbroath, B, Peterhead, C, Queen's Park, or D, East Fife?
Immediately I thought Peterhead, Andrew, so I don't know if you're lower league
Immediately
knowledge.
you thought Jos Valharen as well, but
Did he get a yellow card,
Peterhead is-
maybe?
Yeah, Peterhead's well, the only thing is Queen's Park, as soon as that popped up, I was like, maybe, because they were down there for a while, but Peterhead have been down there for
Peterhead
longer,
be up
haven't
and
they?
down, up and down. They're quite yo-yo. They've certainly been in League One a few times. And they won the league last year as well, I think, so add it to the list.
I don't disagree with that logic, really.
I don't think Arbroath have won it that much because I think they won it once maybe, and they've just like stayed up in the Championship League One since then. I know East Fife certainly won it once as well, at least. And I know Peterhead have at least.
they've all
Right.
won it at least once.
Yeah, I know.
So that's a hint.
Arbroath
Let's
is the one that I feel most confident it's not, but
we're saying it's not Arbroath.
Yeah, we'll just go B, Andrew, because we've got a few more questions to go.
yeah.
He's got a few more questions to go and he needs a pee.
22 minutes.
Go
Well,
for
these
it.
are the bumper episodes, mate.
True.
You
B.
don't want to drag it out. B, final answer is correct. Well done.
Yes, well done.
Peterhead have won it 3 times. The other 3 teams there have all won it twice, so very close.
Oh, nice. Fair play. Fair play.
Question 9. According to Wikipedia, which SPFL stadium has the lowest capacity? Is it A, Bayview Stadium, B, Galabank, C, Lesser Hampden, or D, Balmoral Stadium?
I'm sure Lesser Ham's got like 500 seats or something like that, no? 1,000 maybe.
1,000.
There's controversy about how like shite it
Who's
is, no?
skyscraper?
Yeah. Bayview, surely not.
It is small,
Oh.
but it's got one stand. Galabank,
Yeah.
never been Balmoral Stadium. I think it's got a few standing bits, so
Where's
Jimmy
Bar?
Gallagher,
Which one's the Balmoral Stadium? Who's got that?
Peterhead, is it?
Cool.
Is it?
Cove. Yeah, Cove.
Oh, well, yeah. No, that's
They've got standing bits.
Peterhead.
That's
Cool.
a reasonable size of Cove one, I think.
I don't
so.
think Leicester Hamden has any standing bits. That's probably why it's the lowest capacity. Or Bayview, potentially, because they only have one stand. You can stand around the pitch. Let's just go Leicester Hamden. Cause,
Final answer?
Yeah,
no
go for
controversy
it.
about that.
Final answer is Leicester Hamden. The answer is Leicester Hamden. Well done.
Yes.
Nice.
Question 10. What is the postcode for Starks Park, Kirkcaldy? Is it KY1 2NS, KY1 1SL, KY1 1XQ, or KY1 1SA?
Andrew, what do you think, mate?
I'll say D as a guess, but I don't know.
Yeah, because Isa. Isa.
There's ice.
Yeah, I don't actually know, mate. So go D. Yeah.
You don't know. D is correct. Well done,
Yes.
lads.
Come on, Isa.
Fantastic guess. I think one of the postcodes there is the Sheriff Court in Kirkcaldy.
Nice
One
place.
is the Morrisons that's near Starks Park, and the other is Rebecca's Chinese Kitchen Takeaway. Just in case you need to know those postcodes.
I've never
No,
written
it's
Question
on
not
11.
Leicester.
Sandwich Barn Kitchen.
Yes. Yeah. It's a good place it so is. Which player signed for Dundee FC from Bologna in 2000-2001 for a club record fee of around £1 million? Was it A, Marco De Marchi, B, Fabrizio Ravanelli, C, Marco Roccati, or Roccati, I don't know, or D, Alessandro Romano?
I don't think it's
Should probably-
Ravanelli. I'm sure he was playing in like England, or he was it.
Clear those names up for the listeners. I've just realised not everyone can see it, and I've just butchered them all. Marco De Marchi, Fabrizio Ravanelli, Marco Roccati, and Alessandro Romano.
I've only heard
Probably
of B.
still butchered them.
Ravanelli was the only one that really jumped out at me, to be honest. The rest,
I know. I don't remember him.
I thought,
They played like Middlesbrough and Derby. I'm sure. I don't think he played. Or did he play for them after Dundee?
that's what I was
How did he
thinking. Did he
picking up
possibly go after Dundee? I
Maybe
mean,
a random name. I think it's maybe a random player that like no one's ever heard of. The biggest waste of money ever.
should we 50-50 it? Because we've still
Yeah.
got two anyway.
No,
That's-
you don't have any.
Oh, for God's sake!
Why?
You got an extra life to try and get to the end, and I removed your 50-50s to do so.
Andrew, pick a random name.
I'll stick with Ravanelli, I think.
If we'll go Ravanelli.
You could just walk away with £250,000 instead of
Luckily,
risking
we
it.
got an extra life. Fuck it. That's fine.
Final answer?
Yeah.
It was Marco Roccati.
Oh,
Who the
Riccati.
hell is that
Roccati.
guy?
I don't know how you
Of
pronounce it.
course.
He was a goalkeeper that signed for Dundee for €2.5 million is the adjustment.
Well, our Dundee
£1 million
fan
quid.
in the comments will be.
Yeah, let us know if
livid.
how many games he played, and if he was good, and who got the money, because that seems like a fraudulent deal. If you ask me.
Yeah.
Your final question, which would have gotten you to our big star prize, I'll ask you it just for the sake of asking it. When you add up the total runtime for every episode of Tinpot and Tinpot on Tour, what is the total? Is it 49 hours, 44 minutes, 37
Jesus.
seconds? 54 hours, 34 minutes, 34 seconds? 61 hours, 12 minutes and 55 seconds? Or Neil McCann?
I mean, I'm assuming you're not including this 3-hour episode as well. But,
Not this one, no. This is up till episode 34, released on Tuesday the 20th.
I think it's got to be either
It'll
61,
be 61, yeah.
or Neil McCann, one or the other.
I think we'll go 61 because that's an actual number. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I think it is an actual number, actually. I think I've seen it before. So, yeah, we'll go with 61.
Well, out of 12 questions, lads, if we're going to tally it up that way, you've got 9 correct. That's incorrect, that answer. It's 54, 34, 34. But, hey, thanks for playing, and let's look at what you could have won. It was a voucher to go with me for a big slap-up lunch at our sponsors, Nooch Bar and Kitchen.
Oh, my God.
Oh, you've missed out. But
Lovely.
have you had a good day? Have you enjoyed coming down to the studio and playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with me, Chris Tant?
Yeah, no, definitely. It was really nice. Good day out for us, really, as a couple. We don't really get much time to ourselves, do we, Matthew?
Bloody Bobo Baldi. I'll never forget that. Fuck this over.
I know. I've actually,
Can't
Yeah,
remember that
I'm
at all,
meant-
to be fair.
Really surprised that I don't.
It was 6 minutes
remember that.
into
Those
the
cheating
extra
portal
time.
bastards, eh? Diving bastards.
Nah, they weren't cheating. They were just playing by the rules. You can't put pressure on the UEFA referees like you can with the SFA.
Right, Andrew. Back in your hole.
Just the Wikipedia description of it is Celtic were reduced to 10 men in the 96th minute when Balde was dismissed after collecting his second yellow card. O'Neill reconfigured his team by moving McNamara to fill the gap in defence caused by Balde's dismissal and suggested the ref should have shown the blue card instead of the red.
Classic.
There you go.
Well played.
Just had to verify that I was definitely give the correct answer because you know I have previous for fucking these quizzes up.
Could be Neil McCann.
Could have been Neil McCann. Right, that's all we've got time for, an hour and a half in. Lads, any parting words?
Let's keep going for another minute so we can make it exactly an hour and a half. So if we just cut it at hour and 30.
When you edit, it was probably a better end now because we've got about a minute and a half's worth of stuff to
Cut out, so nothing will matter then.
Yeah, it's
Right,
too late.
fine, forget it.
Leave it no more than 1
Honestly.
minute.
Like, subscribe, comment down below. Give me some protein tips on my journey. Interested to know what people do with
Protein
their cottage cheese.
tips, gallstone tips, and tell us what you think about Tam's suggestion of interviews going in the bin. Are you sick of interviews, or are you fucking loving them like me?
What would all these BBC sports folk be doing for their time if no interview? Who's the boy that does Aberdeen? Tyrone, man. He loves it. He's a good question answer, Tyrone. Tyrone. I don't remember his name. Cause...
Oh, hi, how you doing? Tyrone here.
Damn, you're
I was
an
making a
interviewer,
general
tell me.
comment, and now you're just picking on individuals. I see how it is.
Yeah, Matthew's doing his reform thing again, wanting everyone to lose their jobs. So,
Not Tyrone.
not Tyrone.
There's also too many
Good
podcasts.
British man.
Let's end on that.
Yeah, maybe
End
what's
all
the point in next week?
podcasts.
What's the point in? Tinpot.
You can do that one next week. Right. Goodbye, everyone.
Cheers.
Love you. Bye.